Welcome back, everyone. This is MandoAllDay, back with another video. And in this video, I'll be doing an overview of Batman Shadows of the Bat, The Tower. So I'll be talking about a little bit of the story, the art, and of course, if it's worth your purchase or not. But before we get started, make sure you hit the subscribe button to the support channel to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So let's take a look at front of the dust jacket, the spine, the back. Alright, let's take a look at what's inside the book, which I really liked. I like the art on this book. Right. So front of the book, the spine, the back, and of course I'll be doing full spread so you guys can see the full image. It looks really cool. Alright. Now, before I get started, there's a bit of a confusion with this because there's two books that have the same title, just different. Well, you'll see. So this book is Shadows of the Bat, The Tower. Then there's another book that came out on the same day, which is Batman Shadows of the Bat, House of Gotham. So there's two different stories though. And the weird part is they're the same in terms of comics. The Detective Comics 1047, 1058. This one has the same thing, which is 1047, 1058. I did not write it, so there's a lot of confusion because I was like, wait a minute. It's two different writers, same different comics. Same comics, but two different stories. It was confusing, but don't worry, I read it, and yes, there's two different things, so yeah. Anyway, so let's get back to this book. I just wanted to clarify, because I know a lot of people were confused, including myself, but I read both, so there you go. So, The Tower. What is this book about? So, this book is mainly about a tower, aka the Arkham Tower. So, essentially what happened was that the Arkham Asylum, they call them A-Day, has actually been destroyed and demolished, and they created a tower, okay, the Arkham Tower. And in this particular tower, there's a specific doctor who's able to cure and fix all the villains to where they're healed, they're perfectly fine, they can, they're normal. They can actually be with civilians. And this actual particular tower, you see on there, like, different villains like Harley Quinn, Mr. Freeze just walking around, wandering around with no security, no handcuffs. At one point, even an inmate's asking for scissors, which, if you know, giving an inmate scissors is not a very good thing, especially if they're an inmate, especially if they're in Arkham. And so, that's what this tower is about, showing how, like, this doctor was able to cure all these villains to where they're now just like normal people. They can be civilized, and they can actually walk around this particular tower, even with like weapons, not weapons, but like scissors and so forth. Now, of course, the Bat family is a bit consistent, like, not consistent, they're kind of cautious, like, wait a minute, how can this doctor just find the cure out of nowhere, out of the blue, have this cure that can help out all the inmates? So they started investigating, what's going on, how is this doctor be able to do this? And that's mainly the gist of the story. There is some twists and turns, which I'm not going to spoil, because I don't want to spoil anything. But for the most part, I gotta say, this is a cool story, man. I really like the story. It's a simple premise. It really is a simple premise. And as you progress with the story, you do have some turns, and I gotta say, I liked it. I think it's a really fun story. Again, this is not going to win awards for like the best story or anything like that. So if you go into this book thinking that, you're going to be disappointed. But to me, I like it. I like how the twists and turns. I like how each story, it shows you how certain characters got involved, per se, in the tower. So, like, early on in the first chapter, or the first issue, it starts off right away with all this action, with a lot of these Bat family members inside the tower. You see Nightwing on there. You see Huntress. You see Batgirl. And it's like, what the hell's going on? How did they get there? And as you start reading and you progress with the story, you kind of see how they got involved, how they got to that destination, how Huntress got there, Batgirl, Batwoman, Oracle, and the list goes on and on and on. And again, I gotta say, I liked it. I think this is a fun little story. Is it for everyone? I don't think so. But again, I think if you set your expectations accordingly, I think you have a good time. The art itself, it looks good, looks clean. I think the cover art, which I'll show you guys at the end, is fantastic. With this kind of art right here, it is just really cool. This paper quality is a matte finish, so keep that in mind. But like I was saying, in terms of the story, it's a pretty straightforward story. It is a bit predictable sometimes, but there is some twists and turns where it's like, oh, okay, I didn't expect that. But again, overall, I enjoyed it, man. This is a fun story. It's cool to see the Bat family, and I say the Bat family because Batman is not really involved in this. It's really just the Bat family, okay? Batwoman, Nightwing, Oracle, Batgirl, spoiler, or Orphan, spoiler, and you really see them interacting with each other, really communicating as a team. And I actually like that because, again, it takes a break from Batman, and it's more of the Bat family, which is really, really cool. And again, I liked it. I think this is a fun little read, like I said. Just don't go into it thinking it's going to be like one of the best stories, or really in-depth story, because it's not. I'll be honest with you, it's not. It's pretty straightforward. I guarantee you by midway through the book, you're going to be like, okay, I kind of have an idea how it's going to end. And even though it's kind of a bit predictable sometimes, it's still fun though. Like, it's still a good, fun, entertaining story. And again, I digged it, man. I think the art's good. The pacing of it is about average. Sometimes it goes a little bit below average. But majority of the time, I would say it's above average. So it's a fairly decent paced book. A little bit above average, like I said. But for the most part, though, like I said, I dig it, man. I really dig the story. This is a fun little story. And just seeing how the story develops and how you're seeing who the villains are and the motivations of the Doctor and the motivations of the Tower, like everything, it's kind of fun and interesting. But like I said, it is a bit predictable. But overall, to me, the Tower, I gotta say, thumbs up for me, man. If you're looking for a fun story that involves more of the Bat family as opposed to the Batman, I think you're gonna have a good time with this. If you're going into this thinking that, oh, it's gonna be Batman's story, to be honest with you, it really isn't. But to me, I enjoyed it, man. I think this is a good, really good, fun story, and I dig it. Now, I gotta show you the art. I have to show you the art, because the art in the back is just, I think the art's fantastic. And yes, it does have that matte paper finish, which is unfortunate, but I'm telling you, look at all this art. It looks so, so good. Look at that. Like, the more I kept looking at this art, the more I'm like, dude, this is just awesome. And just look at the spread. Look at that. That is really dope. Come on. There's another spread right there that looks really, really cool. This is one of the things I like about reading comics. So you get at the end, you do see the cover arts, and just look at this, man. Just look at that face of the Joker. That looks really, really cool. And we got Two-Face on there, Harley Quinn, Poison Ivy, and it looks like Penguin, I believe. And I don't know who that is on top. Killer Croc right there. You can't really see. And of course, Robin. And again, this art pieces are just fantastic. And I had to show it because when I was reading it and I looked at all the art, I'm like, dude, I have to show it to everyone. Because this is just so, so dope. Just look at that. That looks cool. Right. Again, I don't want to spoil anything though. But overall though, like I said, would I recommend it? Yeah, man, I think this is a fun little read. If you kind of want to just read something easy, like you don't have to have prior knowledge, with a decent pace. And again, the story is pretty straightforward, but still good time. Thumbs up for me on this one. Let me know what you guys think. Have you read this book? Do you plan on reading this book? And leave it in the comment section below. As always, make sure you hit the subscribe button to the support channel to keep up to date and watch videos like this. So it includes an overview of Batman Shadows of the Bat, the Tower hardcover, and on to the next one.